Women painters of the Renaissance have long been overlooked. However, as we study them today, we unearth new works and stories that help us piece together their lives and careers. One such work is Artemisia Gentileschi's The Penitent Magdalene. The work was recently discovered in a private collection in Florida. A few key elements allow us to recognize the figure as Magdalene. We often see her holding a skull as she meditates on her past and the vanity of her previous life. Her sumptuous robes, gold bracelets, and pearl earrings are indicative of her past as a courtesan. The most revealing detail is the jar of ointment on the lower right of the canvas, which Magdalene used to anoint Christ's feet. While the figure is most certainly Magdalene, it was not originally conceived as such. Radiographic analysis reveals that an asp was originally painted underneath where the skull lies, indicating that the figure was first intended to be Cleopatra. Cleopatra was a popular subject among painters and one which Artemisia was known to paint. Today, we have a few remaining examples of her works depicting the subject. So, when did the figure shift from Cleopatra to Magdalene? A stratigraphic analysis studying the paint layers reveals that the skull was rendered coeval with the painting, and by the same hand. Further, this is a common practice in Artemisia's works, altering a few elements to change the subject of the painting. Artemisia's style changed with her travels as she absorbed the artistic influences of the regions she worked in. By assessing which works and artists she took inspiration from in creating the Penitent Magdalene, we can narrow down the window of its creation. Artemisia was born in Rome in 1593. Many of her more youthful works possess an element of Caravagism. Around 1613, shortly after she married Florentine artist Pier Antonio di Vincenzo Sietesi, the couple moved to Florence. They hastily fled the city in 1620 due to both mounting debt and the scandal that broke out when it was learned that Artemisia had another lover. The pair then settled in Rome, where they resided until about 1630. However, in 1628, Artemisia took a very influential trip to Venice. In 1630, she finally settled in Naples, where she largely remained for the rest of her life. The work's stylistic qualities support the idea that it was executed during Artemisia's Second Roman period, between 1620 and 1630, or perhaps during her time in Venice in 1628. The drapery, composed of silken fabrics, is voluminous and extravagant. Her skin, in contrast, is rendered with a delicate softness. These elements stray from the Caravagism of her earlier works. The painting also seems to draw inspiration from Simon Vouet and Nicolas Regnier, consistent with her works in this period. Parallels between Artemisia and Vouet's styles are particularly evident when looking at Vouet's Woman Playing a Guitar. Like Artemisia's Penitent Magdalene, they feature sumptuous silk drapery and revealing décolletages. The overlap in iconography between Magdalene and the Allegory of Melancholy likewise help state the work. The composition, a woman sitting supporting her head with one hand, long denoted meditation upon one's own existence. Around 1618, Domenico Feti explored overlapping this iconography with religious subjects in his painting titled Meditation. The work was seen by Guercino, who echoed it in the Casino Ludovisi in 1621. While Artemisia may have seen the original canvas, she certainly was familiar with Guercino's, and thus the Penitent Magdalene must have post-dated Guercino's fresco. Looking at Artemisia's own oeuvre, Esther and Ahasuerus share many similar characteristics with the Penitent Magdalene. The complexions are rendered with a kindred softness, and the shadows carefully diluted. These congruences indicate that the two works were completed not too far apart in time. One can also find a resemblance between the Penitent Magdalene and Artemisia's Lucretia, painted in 1627. This work reinforces that Magdalene was indeed painted by Artemisia's hand. The sleeves are highly textural, with dramatic gatherings of fabrics. The figures have an exposed décolleté, revealing flesh rendered with incredible softness and sensuality. They wear pearl drop earrings, a style that was heavily popular in the 17th century. Given the similarities between the two works, it would make sense that they were painted close in time to one another. This especially rings true given the artist's ever-evolving style. These factors in conjunction point to the creation of Artemisia's Penitent Magdalene to approximately 1626. A fascinating example of the evolution of Artemisia's style, the rediscovery of this work allows us a new insight into the life and work of the painter. We uncover a new story and gain a glimpse into her prolific career.